And welcome to Weekend Hatha Flow. My name is Amy with Aspire Zen. I am a yoga teacher as well as a health and nutrition coach. And today's set is in honor of the fall equinox and the transition into the fall season. So the equinox was this past Thursday, and it basically means, if you are familiar with it or not, just means that it's a day, happens twice a year, where it's equal time of daylight and nighttime. And it also marks, so we're going to focus on balance today because of the balancing energies of the equinox. We're also going to focus on the energies that are helping us transition into the new season, the fall season. And, the fall, like what happens in the fall, right? Trees shed their leaves and it starts to get darker earlier. And if you're like me, you start to feel differences in your body. Like especially when it gets darker earlier, I personally get into that place where I want soup and a blanket and I want to go to bed. And those are just kind of, our body does notice those types of things. And so the opportunity that happens in the fall for us, especially in our yoga practice, on and off the mat, is that, when we're thinking of more darkness, it's an opportunity for us to look a little bit more inward, find a little more stillness, self-reflection, and go into a space where we look to the light within us. It's a great time to reflect back on any patterns or habits that may not be serving you any longer. An opportunity to focus on shedding those habits and planting new seeds also for things that are going to hibernate during the winter and then start to blossom in the spring, just like a bulb in your garden. So that's kind of where our journey is today. As far as energy, we're going to be doing a little bit more flowing, a little bit more holding of particular poses. So yes, that is our adventure. We're starting here in a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana. Maybe you're sitting on a little cushion if you have tighter hips to give you length through your spine. And then bring your hands down to your knees. Maybe you close your eyes. We're going to start off with little breath work. The fall season and the transition is also about the lungs and building up lung capacity and health. So we're going to start with a little pranayama, Samavriti pranayama, which means even or regulated breath. So we're just going to start breathing. And what I would like you to do first, close your eyes and just center in. Arrive here on your mat. Feel the weight of your body seated on the ground, the support of the mat coming up to give you a solid foundation. And now just start to notice your breath. Just become aware of it. The gentle rising and falling of your belly and your chest. And now we'll start with part one of Samavriti. Start to deepen your inhales and exhales and try to make each part of the inhale and the exhale the same pace. So as you're inhaling, filling up your belly with air, your chest with air, try to make the speed at which you inhale the same at the beginning of the inhale as at the end of the inhale. And do the same thing for the exhale. Try to pace it so it's an even keel from start to finish. You can make them as long or as short as you want, just focusing inward, feeling each moment of each inhale, each exhale. Looking for smoothing out, even, balancing, centering. Stillness. Now if you've established your even keel of a breath, we're going to focus on making the length of the inhale equal to the exhale. So we're going to start with the count of 5. So as we inhale, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now just do a couple more rounds on your own. You can choose any number you want, 5, 6, whatever you're feeling today. Just make them even inhales and exhales. Coming into that fall energy, that equinox, that balance. Turning inward to the beauty and light within you. And then let's do one big inhale here. Fill your belly, fill your lungs. Rise the air through your sternum. And open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And flutter your eyes open if they are closed. And we will begin our practice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Bring your right arm down. Bring your left arm up and over. Ground down through your sit bones as you feel that lengthening through your left side body. I'm going to breathe here for 5 breaths. Maybe you keep your eyes closed for this section too. Just feel into whatever your body's telling you this morning. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, come back up to center. Lift both arms up to the sky. Grow nice and long through your spine. And then exhale, other side. Plant your left hand down, right arm over. Square off your shoulders to really allow for that opening along the side body. The tendency is often to droop forward. So think coming back, opening through your heart. And again, just resting here, breathing, allowing that fresh oxygenated blood into your body. One more breath here. Inhale back up, fingertips high. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, bend them out wide, and bring your hands to come resting on your shoulder. Your fingertips are facing forward, thumb behind. And now from here, we're just gonna do a little twist through your navel center. So twisting to the left, this will be your inhale, and then exhale as you twist over to the right. Inhale left, exhale right. And now add a sniff in, sniff out for your breath. And you can speed it up as suits you. So it'd be like, again, twisting right from your belly button, your navel center. It's almost like you're allowing yourself to become your own chiropractor, awakening through your spine, and then opening up through your lungs and stimulating into all your glandular systems with that sniff in, sniff out that triggers other beautiful functions within the body. All good for keeping us nice and healthy and immuno-boosted. That's another thing why we want to keep our lungs healthy in the fall season. So, and then make your way back to center. Release that sniffing breath and release your hands down. We're going to come into tabletop for a few cat-cows. So rolling over to your tabletop, align your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Engage your abs in towards your spine to find that nice neutral flat back. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. And then when you're ready, inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down, shine your heart forward as you lift your hips up toward the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, look forward, look up. Exhale, tuck your pelvis, tuck your chin, round down, cat pose. Feel a spreading of your shoulder blades across your back body, shining your spine up toward the ceiling. And now we're just gonna flow with that inhale as you come to cow, and exhale as you come to cat. That's 2, we're gonna do 3 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, come back to neutral spine, back to tabletop. Bring your big toes back to touch each other. Spread your knees wide apart. Inhale here, and then exhale, come down to child's pose. Send your hips back over your heels. Allow your forehead to come resting down on the mat for just a moment. Extend your fingertips out in front of you to elongate through your spine. And let's do 5 breaths here. We're working on a balanced, even number of breaths through each of these poses. Holding things a little bit longer today. And while we're in this child's pose, again, a reminder, this is always your practice, your body. Please listen to what you need to do, any adjustments you need to make, any breaks you want to take today, please take them. Please take care of you. This is a great pose if it feels comfortable, if you need a moment. And from here, we will rise back up to tabletop. Inhale, tabletop pose. Separate your toes now so they're back in line with your knees and your hips. Again, look down at your fingers. Make sure your fingers are spread out nice and wide. Your pointer finger should be parallel to the long edges of your mat, or maybe even turn your fingers out a little bit. That's going to protect your wrists and shoulders. And then tuck your toes under and come up to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up into the sky. Maybe you walk through your dog. Press down evenly through your hands, sending weight into the ball mound of the pointer finger and the thumb. Shoot the energy up from your hands through your arms. Rotate your upper arms out so your armpits start to come toward one another. Send your chest towards your thighs. And elongate your tailbone toward the ceiling. And come into stillness in your down dog for the last few breaths. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. It's more about lengthening from your hands through your tailbone than getting your heels down to the ground. If they go to the ground by themselves, that's great. If not, no worries. And one more inhale here as you now come to the balls of your feet up on your tippy toes. Slightly bend your knees, look forward, and exhale, ragdoll pose. So take a giant step forward. Maybe another giant step forward. Make your way to the top of your mat. Keep your feet hips width apart. Bend your knees again as much as you need to. You can even rest your torso down on your thighs and grab onto opposite elbows. And then maybe sway side to side. Shake your head yes and no. Bend one knee as you straighten the other leg. And just feel the sensations, experience the experience of ragdoll, the experience of gravity weighing upon your body, undoing all the upright motions that we constantly do, the sitting, the standing. And then release your hands down if your hands are crossed. Press down evenly through your feet and start to tuck and roll yourself up to standing. Tuck your pelvis under. Use your abs to lift you up. Come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Your head will be the last thing to rise up. And roll your shoulders back and down. A little Tadasana. I will turn so you can see. So from here, your choice, toes together, wrapping your thighs together, or if you want a little more stability and balance, you could have your feet hips width apart, your choice. Either way, lift your toes up. Feel now you're pressing down evenly through all 4 corners of your foot. Maintain that sensation. Bring your toes back down to the mat. Engage your abs toward your spine. Find a little tuck in the pelvis. Lift through the navel center. Wrap your ribs in. Roll your shoulders back and down. Bring your hands, palms facing forward, down by your hips. Beautiful, everyone. And inhale, mountain pose, root down, rise your fingertips up to the sky. Your palms will face toward one another. Maybe you look up. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips, bow forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to on the way down. I'm gonna go back to the side view for you. And inhale, come halfway up. Pause here for a moment. Bring your hands either to your shins, maybe to your thighs. You want to parallel your torso to the mat and roll your shoulders back and down towards your tailbone. Inhale once again as you go longer from the crown of your head through to your tailbone. And exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms. Inhale, step back to plank pose. Come back here, maybe you drop down to your knees. Either way, you're gonna fire up your abs, send them up towards your spine. Flex through your heels. Send your tailbone down towards your heels. Your heels are shooting energy out the back. Press down evenly through your hands and rotate your armpits toward one another. So strong. Inhale, come slightly forward. And exhale, you're gonna lower halfway down. Maybe you come to your knees for this. Bend at your elbows. Keep your elbows in next to your body. And when you get halfway down, then start to inhale as you bring your heart forward. Bring your shoulder blades together and straighten your arms. Maybe you press down on the tops of your feet, lift your thighs. So this is upward facing dog. You could also have your knees down for this. This is your inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Curl your toes under. Use your abs to lift your hips up to the sky. Beautiful. And 5 breaths here. Option to bring in your yogic breath for these flows, your ujjayi. You simply seal your lips together and begin to breathe through your nose. Evenly in and out, just like we did in our Samavriti. And allow for a little gentle constriction in your throat this time, so it sounds like an ocean wave. It's kind of a... I don't know how audible that is through the mic, but give it your best shot. And then inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees slightly, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. You could step or hop, making your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back once again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, root down, rise high. Lift your fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. That is our Sun A, our Suya Namasakar A. We're gonna now take that in a flow, a little breath to movement. We're gonna go through that twice. So follow me along. If you are a pro at this, you can go at your own pace. Starting again in that strong Tadasana pose, even legs, either toes together or feet hips width apart. Inhale, mountain pose. Bring your fingertips up to the sky. Look up. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heart lead the way as you dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Listen up here. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank pose. Come slightly forward and then lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your hands back, heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. We're going to pause here again for 5 breaths. Keep pressing down evenly through your hands, sending that energy upward. Rotate your upper arms out to start elongating through your spine. Send your torso, your chest towards your thighs. Rotate your inner thighs in and toward the back of the room to spread across your tailbone. All of that to elongate your spine. And now here, inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees slightly, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, root down, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center one last time. You can go with me or on your own. Inhale, mountain pose, rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step it back to plank pose. Come slightly forward, come halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog as you pull your hands through, heart through, arms straight. Exhale, downward facing dog. You did it. 5 breaths here. Take this opportunity as we have these pauses to be still in a pose, just to become aware of what it's like to hang out in stillness. Just notice what comes up. It could be joy, it could be something uncomfortable. It's an opportunity to just be an observer, as though you are outside of yourself, just noticing, no judgment. One more inhale here, come to the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful. Moving on to Suya Namasakar A B. We're going to do a similar thing. We're going to go through it slow the first time, a little faster and flow on the second and third. So to begin, you can choose. We're going to start in chair pose. So again, toes together or hips width apart for your feet. Inhale, chair pose. Send your hips back. Bend through your knees. Send the weight down into your heels. Zipper up your thighs. Find a little tuck in your pelvis, a lift through your belly, knit your abs in towards your spine, and then bring your arms up, rotate your armpits toward one another. Bring your palms toward palms facing one another. So this is your side view of chair pose. Here's the front. I like to imagine I'm a dolphin or a whale or a mermaid, and I have one tail down here. It's so strong. Inhale, sink a little lower. Exhale, stand up, straighten your legs. Bring your hands to heart center. Maybe you shake it out. A little thigh warm up there. So that's the beginning of our flow. We're gonna take it down again through the vinyasa, what we did in Sun Series A. We'll go through it slow this time, and then we'll flow. Inhale, chair pose, hips back, heart forward, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bow down, let your heart come down and straighten your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, vinyasa. So plant your palms, step back to your plank pose. Come forward, lower halfway down, keep your elbows in. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Bend through your front knee and fan your back foot out 45 degrees. So it's spinning out. Press down through both feet. Inhale, warrior one, rise up. So let's find a strong base here. So you're pressing down through the heel of your front foot, the weight's there. Bend through your knee. Find your front thigh, rotate it outward to align your knee with your second and third toe. All of that as you press down through the outer knife edge of the back foot. And then shine your heart and your hips forward. They might not be exactly forward. They might be a little more twisted, but the intention is to be forward. Then you bring your arms up. Palms face one another. Rotate your armpits in toward one another. Inhale here. And exhale, plant your palms. Step back, go through a vinyasa, or you can skip it. So the vinyasa is just this coming forward in plank, lowering halfway down. This is your exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can come to your knees for that. You can skip it and just go straight to down dog. Everybody, let's do the other side. Inhale, three-legged dog on the left. Lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. And bend through your front knee. Once again, fan the back foot out 45 degrees. Inhale, warrior one. Press down with your feet. Rise up. And finding the base here. So again, weight into the outer knife edge of the back foot, heel of the front foot. Rotate your front thigh out to trend the knee in line with the second and third toe. You want to keep the bend of the knee, don't let the knee go past the ankle. And then shine your hips and your heart forward, arms up. Imagine you're scissoring your thighs together, even though they're technically apart, to keep that nice balance. Inhale here. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back through your vinyasa. Maybe you come to your knees. This would look like this. Again, come slightly forward to make space. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Or maybe it's knees down, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. Let's do 5 breaths here. And come back to your breath. If you're using your yogic breath, sometimes when we are getting into complicated spaces in our mind, the breath stalls or changes momentarily. So this is a great place, great pose to come back to your ujjayi. Breathing through your nose, lips sealed, evenly in and out, with a slight constriction in your throat. And then inhale, come to the balls of your feet, bend your knees slightly, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So bend through your knees, lift your arms up, squeeze your thighs together. Exhale, stand up at attention, Tadasana, hands at heart center. Beautiful job. So that is Suya Namasakar A B. And now we're gonna take that into a flow, one breath to one movement. Again, if you are a seasoned yogi and you want to go at your own pace, be my guest. Otherwise, you are welcome to flow with me. Everyone, inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, hips back, heart forward, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step or hop back and head through your vinyasa or straight to down dog. Come halfway down, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step your right leg through, fan your back foot out. Inhale, warrior one, rise up. Exhale, come down, high to low plank, plant your palms, step your foot back, again through a vinyasa or skip it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through, fan your back foot out. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, plant your palms, high to low plank through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You did it, that's one round. We'll hang out here for 5 breaths. Again, ensuring you have weight in the ball mound of your pointer finger and thumb. Rotate your upper arms outward, armpits toward one another. Keep your wrists nice and happy. One more breath here. And now come to the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look forward, and exhale, forward fold, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend your knees, shift your weight back, bring your arms up. And exhale, stand up, bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful job. Let's go through that one last time, again at your own pace or flow with me. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heart lead the way as you bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, rise through the vinyasa, go straight to down dog. Keep your elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through, fan out your back foot. Inhale, warrior one, rise up. Exhale, plant your palms, step back through your vinyasa or straight to down dog. Come forward and then lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, other side. Inhale, three-legged dog on the left. Exhale, low lunge, step it through, fan the back foot out. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, vinyasa time. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for 5 breaths. Reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with you, your body. Downward facing dog is an active pose, but it is also a rest. Fun that there are lots of times in yoga where we have these seemingly ironic situations where we're in an active resting pose type of thing. One more breath here. On your next inhale, come to the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, rise up, hips back, squeeze your thighs together. And then exhale, stand up, Tadasana, hands to heart center. Beautiful job. We are thoroughly flowed through our Sun A and our Sun B. Time to move on into a little bit more holding pose. So we are gonna go into half moon, which is like so. We're gonna get there a little slowly, but this is one where if you do have a block, you might wanna use it. So you could have that hanging out, standing by. And I'm gonna come to this side of my mat so that you continue to see my face. And then when you are ready, my friends, inhale, chair pose once again. Send your hips back, heart forward, knit your abs in towards your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back. Option to go through a vinyasa or step straight to downward facing dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. You guys look great. Inhale, three-legged dog on the right. Lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right leg through. Fan your back foot out 45 degrees, just as we've been doing. But this time, you're going to inhale, warrior two. Press down with your feet. Keep your front knee bent. Windmill your arms open. So notice the difference here as we find that strong base. Your feet are just the same as warrior one. So you're pressing down through the outer knife edge of the back foot, the heel of the front foot. You're keeping your knee in line with the second and third toe. Maybe you're rotating that thigh outward, open through your hips. The difference is now your intention is that your hips and your heart are out to the side. And your arms come out to the sides. Beautiful, Ram. Amazing form. Bessie, you look great. And as you are ready, gaze over your right fingertips. And then we're going to hold here for a few more breaths. Come back to your breath. Come back maybe to your yogic breath, your ujjayi. Can you sink just a little bit lower? One more breath here. And now inhale, sink a little bit lower. Exhale, extended side angle. So start to reach out in front of you as you tilt your pelvis forward. When you can reach no further, bring your right arm down, left arm up, shine your heart out. And I really like to use the bottom arm to press into the front inner thigh to open through the inner groin area. But you're still stamping down your weight through the outer knife edge of the back foot. Keep that even. You guys look amazing. And we'll come back to the breath here. You can choose with your gaze to look up, to look down, or to look out. I'm going to look out so I can see your beautiful face. One more breath here. Nice big inhale. Even keeled exhale. And now inhale, reverse triangle. So straighten your front leg, press down through both feet, lift your right arm up, left arm down now. So now that we've shifted to straightening the front leg, press the weight into the ball of your front foot. And here you might look up to the ceiling. Step down through your feet as you come up and over through your spine, just as we did when you did that side bend when we were sitting on the ground at the beginning of class. And we're going to hold here too. 2 more breaths. Beautiful job. And now come back to arms out. Keep your front leg straight. We're going to go into triangle pose. So you might want to shorten your stance just a bit. Maybe you step the back foot in just a little bit and have that block ready if you have it. If you're using it, I'll show you an option without it. So never fear if you don't have one. Arms out, gaze over your right fingertips once again. Inhale here. Start to exhale as you reach forward, tilt through your pelvis. And when you can reach no further, then once again, but with legs straight, right arm down, left arm up. Shine your heart outward. And maybe your hand comes to rest on your front thigh or your shin. This is Trikonasana, triangle pose. We'll hang out here for a few more breaths. Keep sending the weight into the ball of your front foot, the outer knife edge of your back foot. Keep rotating your front thigh outward. Beautiful job. Now start to bring your gaze down. You're welcome to stay here if you want to move into a little balance for half moon. Bring your gaze down towards your front foot. Maybe bring the top arm onto your hip for a minute. Bend through your front knee. Maybe you place the block out in front if you have it. And then start to shift the weight into your front foot. Wrap your outer right hip in. Fire up your hamstring and your glute. And start to lift off your back foot and raise it up into the air. Maybe your hand comes down to that block. If you don't have it, that's okay. Your hand can come down to the ground. It's okay to have a slight bend in your right knee if you need. Flex through your lifted leg. And maybe your top arm, your left arm comes up. Half moon. And we're holding here for a few breaths too. Now is a great opportunity to find comfort in the discomfort, in the focus. Keep flexing and wrapping your outer right hip in, the standing leg. Press down evenly through the standing foot. One more inhale here. We're gonna come back to warrior two. And then as you exhale, maybe you bend through the front knee again. Let that back leg gently come resting down. Raise your body up. Bend through your front knee. Yes, you got it. Warrior two. We'll pause here for a few more breaths. Restabilizing. Focus in on your legs and just feel that sensation, how they've changed as we've shifted, putting the weight from both legs to one leg, firing up different muscle groups. Just notice, what are you feeling and where are you feeling it? One more inhale here. And exhale, we're gonna come to downward facing dog. You could go through a vinyasa, windmill your arms down, spin your back foot even and straight in line with the rest of your body, and then either step back straight to down dog or come through a vinyasa, come forward to plank, bend your elbows, keep them in, come forward with your heart, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job, let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg high. Three-legged dog, exhale, step it through, low lunge. Fan your back foot out, bend through your front knee. We're gonna come up to warrior two, press down evenly through both feet, windmill your arms up. There you are, here's your back view. I'm gonna turn myself around so you can see my face and bring my block to the other side. So bend through your front knee, your left knee this time. Your back foot is fanned out about 45 degrees, but you're opening through your hips. Weight in the heel of the front foot, outer knife edge of the back foot, showing your heart and hips out to the sides. Bring your arms out, gaze over your left fingertips. And settle down in to this glorious warrior two. Connect back in with your breath. The fall is about slipping into more stillness, but also more surrender. Releasing and letting go. Where can you release and let go in your body while still maintaining your strength of this integrity of your pose? Inhale here, sink a little bit lower. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach out to the left in front of you as far as you can go, and then tick-tock your arms down to 6 and 12. Left arm down, right arm up, shine your heart out. This looks beautiful. Keep pressing down evenly through both your front and your back foot. You can leverage this hand in the front, the lower hand, press it into your inner left thigh to get a little more opening through your inner groin. One more breath here, you guys, so strong. Nice big inhale, even exhale. Inhale, reverse triangle. Start to straighten your front leg. Press down with both feet to use your abs to lift you up. Swap your arms. Yes, you got it. And now you've shifted the weight into the ball of your front foot. Allow for a micro bend in your front knee to keep it from hyperextending. Keep rotating the front thigh outward. Keep your knee in line with your second and third toe. Beautiful job. One more inhale here. You gaze up. And exhale, just bring your hands down to warrior two arms. Take that step inward to shorten your stance just a little bit for triangle pose. If you had a block on the other side, you might want to shift it over by your front toes. And then when you're ready, bring your arms out. Gaze over your left fingertips once again. Inhale here. Exhale, start to tilt your pelvis forward, reach out to the left as far as you can go. And then once again, tick-tock down to 6 and 12. Shine your heart out. Your bottom hand might come resting on the block if you have one, or your thigh, or your shin. Just gently resting there. And your gaze could be up, down, or center. I I see some beautiful Trikonasanas in the group today. One more breath here. And now if you want to stay here, you are welcome to. If you want to move on to half moon on the other side, shift your gaze down to look at your left toes. Maybe you bring your right hand onto your hip. Start to bend through your left knee. If you have that, blend it out in front of your left foot, maybe 6 to 10 inches. Then strap your outer hip in really hamstring, and then start weight forward onto your left foot. Lift your back foot, your right leg up into the sky. Flex that lifted foot. Maybe your hand comes to a block, maybe it comes to the floor. And then your right arm might come back up to the sky. You might work on shining your heart out. Beautiful. Keep stamping down evenly through the standing leg. Wrap the outer left hip in. It's your foundation, your strength. But so is the lifted leg. And again, flex through that lifted foot. Fire up the quad and the hamstring on that side. You have a mountain, a Tadasana leg on each leg, just like when we're standing at attention at the very beginning of class. They just happen to be separated. One happens to be in the air. All right, you guys did it. One more inhale here. We're gonna step back to warrior two. Exhale, and you bring your back, rise up. Whoop. Warrior two. Sometimes one side's more graceful than the other. It's okay. Beautiful job. Last little rest in our warrior two. Come back to your breath. Soften through your jaw. Is there somewhere else? Do a little body scan that could use a little softening. Maybe your shoulders, maybe your toes. One more inhale here. And exhale, plant your palms, spin your back foot. So from this low lunge, you can step back to downward facing dog, or you can go through a vinyasa once again. Step back, coming forward. Keep your elbows in, lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale, come down, tabletop. Did it. So now we're going to go in to a little hip opening. So your choice, you can do half pigeon, which is a pretty intense hip opener, or you could take a figure four. So I'm gonna show you the figure four option first. You can come lying down on your back. Bring your right ankle onto your left knee. Send your left knee away from your face. Maybe you hang out just right here, or you grab onto the back of your left thigh. Drop both knees in towards your chest as you send your tailbone back to the mat. And you can hang out here. It's a beautiful stretch for your outer hip. So that is one option for half pigeon. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. Tuck your toes, lift up to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Bend your top knee, your right knee, and then come forward to plank. Send that right knee through with a little twist in your belly so that the shin comes down over toward the left. And then you start to draw your hips backward. Maybe you use your back foot to drag them back. And you'll find this look. So take a peek back at your back foot. Make sure it's not splayed way off to the side. You could also use props again, a cushion, a pillow, a blanket. If there's a big gap right here, you can put a little pillow under there. And then rise up here, inhale, and exhale, lower down. Find resting. Half pigeon. Maybe your head rests down on a pillow. And now take this opportunity to come back to the breath first. I invite you to release your Ujjayi if you want and focus more on very deep inhales and exhales. Or you could keep the Ujjayi, your choice. But either way, allow the opportunity of each inhale to gather and bring fresh prana, fresh oxygenated blood into those crevices of the hips, anywhere that's feeling a little bit tight. Once again, in our focus, our intention into balance and surrender as one of the things, this is a good opportunity to find that surrender. Where can you soften? Keep breathing into any tight spots. Where else can you release? Maybe it's your jaw, maybe it's your fingers, maybe it's your shoulders. Take a few more breaths here. Allow each inhale to also fill your back body, lift through your back ribs. Really deepen the capacity of your lungs by focusing the breath into different spaces as you inhale and exhale. And now if you're lying down in a pigeon, bring your hands back under your shoulders and then gently press yourself up, press your torso up so that you have space to remove your right leg from its bind. So I like to drag it back gently and then tuck the back toes under, lift up, find downward facing dog, and then really release, bring the blood back in, bring your right leg up to the sky. Maybe you bend through your right knee, open your hip, shake that leg out a little bit. Get the blood back in there. And when you're ready, bring it back down to the mat. If you're on a figure four, switch sides. And if you're in pigeon, also switch sides. Inhale your left leg high, three-legged dog on the left. Bend your left knee, draw it through. So you're looking for somewhere for this front foot. The goal at the end of the day is to have the foot be, so the shin is parallel to the front of your mat. That's not realistic for a lot of people. So a little bit more of a bend of the knee is just fine. Maybe you flex through that foot too to protect your knee. And then again, once again, look back to make sure that your foot is not splayed off to the side, all willy-nilly. And then shift your hips to find an even distribution as best you can. Perhaps you shove something underneath the lifted left hip. And then when you're ready, start to slowly walk your hands down, bringing your belly up and over, your torso up and over that front leg, and then find your edge, your spot of surrender. Noticing again, taking this opportunity to become aware of the subtle differences, or sometimes not so subtle differences between one side and the other. One side might have easily gone into your hip stretch and the other side might have more to say about it. Once again, utilize your breath. Breathe into any tight pockets. The beauty of these binding poses where we're kind of cutting off blood supply and finding a tightness. Where can we find surrender and balance? But then when we release, it's a signal to the body to send even more fresh blood into that area, to loosen it up even more at the end of the pose. Fall out every maybe the way to intense the new year. Press up to make space to remove your leg from the front here. Make your way up to downward facing dog. And shake it out. If you are in figure 4 lying on your back, draw both knees into your chest. Make a little ball with your body. Give your legs a little squeeze. Beautiful, beautiful. And then come back to downward facing dog if you are up in it. And then come down to your knees into tabletop. So everybody, we're gonna meet in a seated position. So if you're laying down on the floor, rock yourself up or press yourself up gently. If you were in the downward facing dog, come back around. Everyone find a nice even grounding through both sit bones. So you might want to move the flesh out of the way so you can feel that supporting and equal grounding on both sides. Flex your feet. A little micro bend or a little more of a bend if you have tighter hamstrings is just fine. We're going to do a forward fold, hinging from the hips. So if your knees are bent, that's the way it's going to be. It's just fine. We're working on elongating through the spine as well as getting the stretch. So sit up nice and straight and tall. Inhale, both arms up. And then as you exhale, I want you to come up and over with your chest as though you're draping your torso over. Hinge from your hips and then grab onto something. Maybe it is a shin. Maybe it's a thigh today. Maybe it's feet. Where does your body feel is the perfect spot to make contact? And then once again, halfway lift, come up, flatten and lengthen through your spine from your tailbone up through your crown. And then as you exhale, come up and over, fold forward. And maybe you don't make it all the way down. I pretty much never make it all the way down to my knees, to my nose to my knees. That's okay. You're looking once again for that magic spot, that sweet spot, the edge, where you're getting a nice intense stretch, an opening, but not ouch. If you're starting to feel ouch, that's your body asking you to back it up just a little bit. And now come back into your breath. You have new crevices that are asking for attention in this new pose. Send your breath to those spots. And then gently bring your hands to your legs and press into your legs and walk your hands up towards your hips to help straighten through your spine. Beautiful job. And then plant your soles of your feet down on the mat. Start to bend your knees, send your hips down your mat and roll vertebrae by vertebrae down. So we're gonna do an option here for supported bridge or legs up the wall. I'm gonna show you both. If you have that nice sturdy cushion, you wanna do supported bridge. I want this to be restorative. So we're done with all the action-packed poses of the day. So supported bridge, you're gonna take the solid cushion, maybe a block, and place it underneath your tailbone here. Make sure it's evenly dispersed and then elongate through your spine and just rest. So that's one option. You could also go up a notch by straightening your legs and do a vertical in the room, legs up the wall with a support underneath. So that's option B. Or you can, if you don't have the block, you could do just a legs, I'll move this out of the way, just legs up the wall. So if you don't need a wall, but you could certainly use one. If you don't have a wall, that's fine. Just shift your hips so that you find that balance point where you don't have to put forth any effort, where your legs can kind of hang out. Again, you're looking to find a restorative place. And if you do have a couch or a wall or a something, take advantage. You can scoot your bum as close to that wall, that couch as possible, and then shift yourself around so that your bum is evenly faced toward the wall, and then you rest your legs on the wall. And you can play around with maybe facing toes toward one another and then release, relax. So wherever you are, legs up the wall, supported bridge, somewhere in between. Maybe it's time to close your eyes. And let's release our Ujjayi, your yogic breath, if you still have it going. Let's take one big collective inhale here. Fill up your belly, fill your lungs, fill your sternum. And then sigh it out, open mouth, exhale. Maybe you stick your tongue out and go, ha, make some noise with it. Just really release everything. And take a few more breaths here. Start to lengthen and deepen your inhales and your exhales. Where can you soften? Do a little body scan. Is there a place on your face, maybe, your neck, your shoulders? Start to feel that sense of melting, of of relax, of surrender. And then gently coming back to awareness, we're gonna head into our final resting pose. If you're really feeling legs up the wall today and you wanna take your Shavasana and legs up the wall, then I invite you to stay right there. Everyone else, I'm going to head into classic Shavasana. So starting, if you are in supported bridge, if you have any pillow or cushion beneath your bum, please gently release it. Bring your tailbone back down to the ground. Hug both knees into your chest. Give your body a little squeeze. And squeeze everything in. Bring your nose to your knees. Give your body a little hug. And thank yourself for coming to yoga, for giving yourself 60 minutes just for you. You are so, so worth it. And then inhale here and squeeze everything. Your fingers, your toes, your ears, your eyes, your nose. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. Bring it down. Shavasana. Extend your legs out long. You can take up a lot of space here. If you have it, maybe your feet are a little wider than hips width. Maybe your hands are a little wide so that you can really allow your shoulders to melt down into the earth. One more big breath. Inhale here. And an open mouth exhale. Release anything that's still in there. Coming into rest. The integration of all your hard work. Beautiful, delicious Shavasana. My friends, it is now the top of the hour. If you have the time and the desire, I invite you to stay in this resting position for as long as you like. Maybe you take it for 15, 20 more minutes and give yourself that real deep rest and relaxation, that stillness. But if it is time for you to move on to the next adventure of your day, and start to bring your awareness back to the space. And gently start to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. Deepen your breath. And start to awaken back into your body. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Coming back into the amazingness that is your being, your body. And then once again, in the most gentle way, taking all the time and space you need. Slightly bend your knees and roll to your side of choice. And pause here for a breath or two. And take a moment to sense and feel that support of your mat beneath you, the support that comes from your yoga practice. And below it, feel the support, that eternal grounding presence of the earth below. Feeling appreciation and connection. And then again, in the most gentle way, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Maybe keep your eyes closed. And bring your hands to heart center. Try to find about 3 pounds of pressure between the palms. Again, representing that sense of balance from the left and right hemispheres of the brain, of the body. The balance that is from our transition from summer into fall. And keeping that feeling of balance through the next few days, but also just welcoming in that new season that is upon us. Taking opportunities as you can get them for a little more stillness, a little more slowing down, a little more internal reflection. And thinking of what you can release and what you want to cultivate for spring. And with that, my friends, it's always my goal to leave you a little better than I found you. I really hope that happened for you today. The teacher in me honors and thanks the teacher in you. Have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you